Hello guys and welcome to my new video of Python full stack course for beginners. So let's get started. So guys, in this video we'll be learning about list comprehension. So guys, list comprehension is a tool to transfer list into another list. Instead of using loops and append, list comprehension can do the work and using a single line of code by iterating over the list. So guys, let's see how can we double the elements of a list and append them to another list through a traditional method and through list comprehension. So let's create a list and let's name it list1 and add the item 1 2 3 4 5, and let's create another list and let's name it list2 and let's make it empty for now because we'll be appending the items of list1 into list2. So let's create a for loop for so, and I'll say for I in my list1, and I'll just simply go into my list2 and I'll append the items. Append is adding the items from this list1 to list2. So I'm going through every item in my list1 and I'm doubling them and appending them to my list2. So let's try printing our list2 out. Okay, so let's try running it. It says 2 4 6 8 10. So basically double of every number in my list1 and we have just printed our list2. Okay, so let's do the same thing through list comprehension. So what I can say is I can make my list2 open and close square brackets and I can state for I in my list1. Now I need not to put a colon here because I'm doing list comprehension. Now after that I can state my condition like here, but we don't have a condition because we are just returning the double of the values. So in order to double them, I can just simply say I into 2. So the interesting thing is that I just have to write I into 2 and it will perform the function for us in the list1. Now list2 is equal to double of every item in list1. So that's how we do list comprehension. Very simple. And this is 2 4 6 8 10. So let's extend our list to number 10. So now by our traditional method, I'll just loop through every item in this list and I'll check if a number is even and I'll square them out. So I'll say for I in my list 1 and I'll check if my I modulus 2 is equal to 0. So basically I'm saying that it will go through every loop in my list 1 and let's say start from 1, then it will check I, which is 1 in our case, modulus 2 means if I divided by 2 leaves us a remainder 0. So basically 1 divided by 2 doesn't leave us the remainder 0. So it will move through next loop. So it will go through 2 and it will check 2 modulus 2 means 2 divided by 2 leaves us a remainder 0. So yes, it does. So now we want to just append the item in list 2 and we want to square them up. So I'll say I to the power 2. Now if I try printing my list 2 out, and let's try running it. And I squared the even numbers in my list 1 and appended them to list 2. So you can see 2, 4, 4, 16, 636, 864 and 1000. So let's try this by list comprehension. So I can say for I in my list 1 and after that I can state my condition. Now condition will be stated here as I told previously. So I'll say if my I modulus 2 is equal to 0. Now if it is 0, then just return me out the square of that number. So I'll just say I to the power 2. So I need not to do anything else and I can just simply do this and it results the same. Now I can even do this. I can just print out this thing. So it will do the same for me and it's even short. Now even if I clear this out, it doesn't make a difference. Okay guys, so it's the time for a challenge. So what I want you guys to do as the challenge is I want you guys to write a code that takes in a number. Let me zoom it a bit. So I'm saying write a code that takes in a number from the user and prints out the multiplication table up until that number. So basically guys, this challenge has been taken from a Udemy course. So I've given the link in the description. You must check that course out. It's a very informative course. I didn't know a thing about list comprehension before I checked out that course. Also, you won't find any free course on this world which teaches you list comprehension and other things. Also, if you're interested in data science, then you ought to check that course. Now guys, your multiplication table should be looking something like this. Now let's say the user entered the number 9, then you just have to print out all the tables up until 9. So I'll see you guys after the challenge. Okay, so I hope you guys were able to figure out the challenge. So let's see how can we do it through our traditional method. So I'll just create a till integer. So I'm just creating a user input for integer and saying enter the number till where you want multiplication table. Now I'll just create a for loop and I'll say for I in range, and I'll go through every item from 1 up until the number till, and after that I'll create another for loop in my for loop, and I'll say for, let's name our variable j in range, and I'll go from 1 up until 10. So basically this will be my number, like let's say 1 to 9, and this will be multiplying them with 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and after that I can just print, and I'll just format them, and I'll place I in the first place, j in the second place, and in the third place I want to place the product of the product. So basically here will be placed my I, which is the number from 1 up until the number user provided. Secondly will be my j, which will be used for my tables like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and I'll just print the product here. So let's try running it. It says enter the number till where you want multiplication table. Now let's enter the number 5. Now if you see that it doesn't print out 5, and also it only prints out the table up until 9 and doesn't include 10. So why is that? So the reason for it is that range consists of numbers up until and not including the number given here. So basically till, let's say the user entered 5, like in our case, that it will not include 5 and it will only go through 4, means 1 2 3 and 4. Similarly happened here, as said 1 up until and not including the number 10. So for this I can simply make it 11. So it will go through 1 up until and not including 11, means up until 10. But in this case, what can I do? So I can simply add an integer here. So basically I've just added 1 here. So if the user enters the number like let's say 5, then 6 will be placed here, and it will print out table up until and not including 6, means up until 5. Let's try running it. Now let's enter the number 5 again. Now it prints out everything including the 10 table, 5 and everything. Now let's see how can we do this in list comprehension. So for list comprehension I can do this even short. I can simply open and close square brackets, and I can place my for loop for I in my range, and I'll place 1 up until and not including till plus 1. Similarly I can create another for loop for j in range, and I can place 1 up until and not including 11. So we don't want a condition here, so we can directly go through our printing, and I can simply print out, and I can format them, and I can place I into j. So let's try running it. Now let's enter the number 10, and it's done. So that's how easy list comprehension is, and very effective and very powerful. So that's all for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, subscribe and share for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.